And we're back for the second semi-final of Indian Wells between Daniil Medvedev and Carlos Alcaraz, which is also a super exciting one on the paper. We've seen a lot of great matches between those two in the past. And we have a few statistics, of course, prepared by Mouratoglou Analytics to know more about what can happen during this match. So, of course, holding serves, as always in tennis, is key. And we have a big server, a very tall guy, 1 meter 96 or 98, Daniil Medvedev. What does Medvedev need to change to hold serve more? That's a very good question. So that's the service games won by Daniil. The tour norm is 75%. Daniil Medvedev norm is 80%. But against Alcaraz, only 60%, because on the other side of the court, you have a player who's huge at everything, basically, but is great at returning. So what does he needs to change to hold serve more? This is the percentage of first serve back in play. Alcaraz 74, Medvedev 59. This 74 can be the problem of Daniil in that match, so he will have to be even better than usual in terms of percentage of first serve and quality of the first serve. Okay, so that's the changes that Medvedev has made in his game when he played against Carlos. So he's usually having 2,520 rotations per minute. That's the spin he applies to the ball per shot. And against Carlos, the last two times he played him, he played only 2,320. He's trying to play flatter and faster. He's playing way lower to the net, closer to the net. 0.78 average, but 0.59 against Alcaraz. And the number of winners, and that's strange because he plays faster, closer to the net, but he hits way less winners, half less per match when he plays against Alcaraz. But this can be explained easily by the fact that Carlos' movement is unreal and he brings a lot of balls back, way more than, and not only brings them back, but finds a way to be offensive on those ones. Medvedev has also played a lot on the backhand of Alcaraz, a lot. But that's the style, of course, also of Medvedev, to be for example, in the backhand corner and stay there as long as possible, blocking the opponent there. But against Alcaraz, it hasn't been efficient because of how fast the guy moves around the backhand and is aggressive with the forehand. I think the keys of the match are, first of all, efficiency on the serve from Daniil. When he won his Grand Slam against Novak in the final of the US Open, he served unbelievably well. High percentage and a number of aces that is way above than what he usually does. And second, he will have to play deep. He will have to prevent Alcaraz from hurting him. I don't think he needs to play backhand, and I think he needs to play deep. That's basically the most important. Find a way to keep, as much as he can, Carlos from stepping inside the court. That's probably the key. Welcome to everyone. I'm excited for this match. I hope you too, and I'm sure you do too. And the match is about to start now, so just a quick look at the draw. As you probably know, Sinner just beat Zverev in 2 straight sets, and the second semi-final is going to be Alcaraz versus Medvedev. Medvedev, who beat Jack Draper in the previous round, and Alcaraz beat Nori. And that starts with a very good serve of Medvedev, very short zone. It gives an easy winner. Now the head-to-head, 6-2 for Alcaraz. So big, clear domination from the Spanish player. But I can say that this domination is true against the immense majority of the players on tour. He's even dominating quite comfortably the head-to-head against Yannick Sinner. So, and we've seen on that second serve already, Carlos inside the court, planning to attack. Another good first serve for the Russian. Oh, Apocalypse Chat, you watched the rugby. I understand it was very tempting. Oh, what a return on second serve from Carlos Alcaraz. And even though Medvedev anticipated well, the quality of the shot of the Spanish is so amazing that he can hit the ball back. That's also a big quality of Medvedev, the movement and the ability to stay in the rally at a very high pace. And with this very deep preparation, the one of Medvedev, he might be in danger when Carlos hits the forehand really super fast, because he might hit the ball way behind him. Ali Ali 1-1-1-1-1. Yeah, rugby was insane and France won, so I'm happy. I didn't see the match, but I read that the match was really incredible. Good job, Medvedev. Very good first game. Not a comfortable one, but we've seen already that when you hit a second serve, Carlos is inside the court and is putting pressure on you straight away. I also remind everyone to that you should subscribe as much as you can, because we have incredible reward that we're gonna reveal very soon, only for the subscribers. And also to Monday at 3, we're gonna have a chat live on both Twitch and YouTube, and we can talk about, okay, we're gonna come back on everything that happened during that tournament, but we can talk about anything, of course, that has to do with tennis. And so I invite you to talk only about the match today. And let's see how Daniil can handle or not the pace. Hi, Tintin le Crétin, French person, clearly, and welcome to our community. Yes, Alcaraz and Sinner are both playing incredibly fast. That's the quality of the champions. Now in modern tennis is the ability to step in, take the ball very early, and put a lot of pressure on the opponent by the fast pace that you produce all the time. It was a big mistake from Alcaraz, and quite surprising, because the return of Medvedev was quite weak. 15-all. And Snow Hype and TTVRYCE also followed. Welcome, guys. Double fault. Yeah, and that's the biggest danger with Carlos, is his focus, that sometimes is not always very solid. We can manage to have this against guys in the first rounds, but closer to the final, the less you can manage to have ups and downs because of your focus. That's a big mistake from Daniel, because 15-30, it's really an important point. You can get 2 break points in a row. So to miss that backhand return on second serve, it's really a big mistake. And that was a very smart change of pace for Alcaraz, playing very fast and seeing that Medvedev manages well this pace. He decided to slice the backhand down the line and forced an error from his opponent. Hi, Ogosuma. First time you're chatting with us. Welcome to the chat. And welcome to Ete Moscan, who just followed us too. Yokozuma is saying, thanks for the many videos where you explain techniques. You're welcome. I started playing in 2025 and it helped me quite well. Well, that's great to hear. That's the whole point about doing it. And I'm excited that it's useful for you guys. Oh my God. You know what? I thought he would miss that last forehand, Alcaraz, because he didn't take it seriously. He was literally walking before hitting it, which is always very dangerous. This one is the one that made the difference, very deep. And here walking. I hope he takes the match as seriously as he should, because Medvedev will play his match for sure. Very good serve for the Russian. And a great forehand, short cross winner from Medvedev. I mean, it's so great to see Daniil back to a very close to his best level. His results since the start of this year are amazing. I think I read that he's the player that won the most matches this year so far, because he played definitely more than Alcaraz and Sinner, but what an angle. That's a joke. It's a bit lucky. Carlos hit the ball a little bit behind him on this forehand inside out, and because of this he found a crazy angle. But look at the quality of the return. .30 tell you, for so far, no easy game for the Russian. For the return, that was really well done from Medvedev, because the return, he took the ball so early, went fast, and he adjusted incredibly well on those two. First the return, then the approach. Medvedev is super focused at the start of this match. Good game again for the Russian. It's amazing now to see players that tall. Him, Zverev, they're almost 2 meters, and the way they move on the court, that's crazy. And I remember very well 20 years ago, the guys who were that size, they couldn't move at all. They were just serving bots, but that was it. That's a really big improvement, and I think it has to do a lot with the fitness and the fact that tennis has become more and more professional, and the fitness coaches, the physios are traveling on tour all year long. So there is a constant work all year long on the fitness, and also the bodies are recovering better than before. There is a question also asking about the rotations per minute. Can we consider as a rule that the higher rotation, the better? Or is it more complicated? No, the higher rotation, the better, of course. The more rotation, the more spin. But now, to judge the quality of the shots, you need to have both the RPM, the number of rotation per minute, so how fast the ball turns, but also the speed, the pace of the ball. Because if you hit the ball with crazy spin, but the ball is very slow, then it's not great. You have to find a good combination between the two. A fast pace with a high rotation, and then you have a forehand of Rafael Nadal, for example, or the forehand of Alcaraz, the forehand of Sinner. If you have way less rotation, then the shot is way flatter. So it has to be perfect depth, otherwise you really expose yourself. And also you have less margin. You play lower, and as you play lower, closer to the net, you're going to hit the net more. 2-1 Medvedev. So far, all the service games, whether it's Carlos's or Daniel's, were tough to win, and I agree with Yogosuma. Medvedev is on point at the start of the tournament, but be careful. Medvedev was crazy on point for 2 games, and basically that was it. Yeah. And that's also why it's not so easy to play against Medvedev, because compared to the other players, he plays way lower. I've spoken to a lot of players who played against him, and they say that it's difficult to play against his backhand because the ball is going quite close to the net without a lot of RPM, and the ball literally doesn't bounce. I mean, it's an expression, of course, but you have to hit the ball very low. It's not great to be aggressive. And he's moving so well. You have so many of those. And that's what we spoke about at this before the match. By going too much on Carlos's backhand, you also give him the opportunity to run around his backhand. And then when he runs around his backhand, he does a lot of damage. Serve and volley. I think the biggest danger, sorry, that's what I meant, for Carlos in that match is to be a bit overconfident, because you should remember that this player didn't lose a single match this year. And he gave a few signs of overconfidence, like walking before hitting the forehand. Quite a lot of errors in the start of the match for the Spaniard. Huh? I feel that he's preparing a bit later than usual. And that's the main cause for most of the enforced error he's made. Because when you prepare a bit later, then your contact point is way more back, and that produces more unforced errors. Very aggressive Medvedev in that match so far. Till 17-12-04. Is arrogance a big problem on tour? No. No, you need confidence. It's always a balance. You need the confidence. It's better to be too confident than not enough. But when you start to be overconfident, then you lose your... how can I say that? You have to be aware. You have to be, you know? And the first break for Medvedev, who, for the moment, is a little bit outplaying Alcaraz, pushing him to miss, attacking him quite a lot. Medvedev is hitting the shots, the forehand, faster, way faster than what he's usually doing. Yeah, that's where he can hurt Daniel more. It's forehand, full power on the forehand of Medvedev. There, he can really hurt him. Moscan, very nice to meet you and welcome to the chat. I hope I'll be in my tennis academy also when you come so I can see you. Second serve. Oh, what a backhand. Beautiful, exactly in the angle. You know, it touched the line. I think that Carlos is a bit surprised by the quality of the tennis produced by Daniel at the start of this match. And a great serve. Again from Daniel. Daniel is wiping the lines. Crazy. Crazy. The quality that he's able to produce at the moment. He hit, I think, 2 lines again in that last rally. One on the previous rally. It's great to see him push Alcaraz limits. And 4-1 for the Russian in that first set. That's a surprise, we can say it. He's painting the lines luck, I guess, not leak, or precision. It's precision, 100%. Those guys, you have no idea about the precision of their shots. That's unbelievable. And I would say even probably more with Medvedev on his backhand because he plays so flat that he has to be extremely precise. But, you know, That's great because he didn't start with overplaying at all, trying to overplay. I mean, Medvedev, he started rallying and slowly he started to feel his game better and better and start to be more and more aggressive. And you remember in the previous match between Sinner and Zverev, what really hurt Zverev is the percentage of points won on his second serve, and that was just showing that he was dominated in the rallies. That was Sinner who was dominating the rallies big time. In that match, that's the opposite. Daniel is winning 83% after his second serve and Carlos 20. So in the rallies, for the moment, Daniel is dominating. But that confirms my feeling and what I said. Daniel is back to close to his best or his best tennis. His best tennis so far was his final of the US Open against Novak Djokovic that he won. And Medvedev is a player that feels the ball incredibly well. That's why he can manage to have a technique that is quite unusual. And that's why... Oh, that's crazy. Carlos lost his shoe? How is it possible? I don't understand. I would like to see the replay because that's crazy. Yeah, I was just saying that Daniel just came back from... Oh, we see the replay. I think he should tie his shoes a bit more. Yeah. So, well, yeah, what I was saying. So Daniel just came back from Dubai. You know, he was stuck in Dubai because of the war. And he came very late to Indian Wells. He was not the only one. There was also Khachanov. There was also Rublev. But all the other guys lost first round or very early. He was not even... affected by the fact that he arrived late and he had to get used to the conditions. I mean, 1-4 love 30. Now it's 15-30. But what a start from Medvedev. Too good, this drop shot. Amazing. Oh. But he was on the ball. He's so fast. Because the drop shot was really well done. And that's a stat. Medvedev is hitting 34% of the points inside the baseline and only 17 for Alcaraz. And usually it's the opposite when you play Alcaraz. And Hugo Suma, no, I mean he has the feel, the touch, yeah. Yeah. That's where he has to push, Carlos, forehand to forehand. Same as what we said during the match between Sinner and Zverev. The forehand to forehand will always be a winning diagonal for Sinner against Zverev, Alcaraz against Medvedev. So that's where he should push as much as he can and get out of the backhand one. Welcome to the chat and for your first comment, Tintin le Crétin. Daniel is playing unbelievable, and I think that Alcaraz didn't take the match as seriously as he should, and he got really surprised. But incredible Medvedev, hitting a lot of winners and spending 34% of the time inside the court compared to 17% for Alcaraz. Exactly, and pushing Medvedev to change diagonal because he doesn't feel comfortable. Oh yeah, that's a big mistake from Alcaraz. He's under pressure, the Spaniard. Many more unforced errors, and he struggles to step in because, as I said at the start of the match, being able to play deep is such an important key in a match against either Carlos or Yannick, because you prevent them from stepping inside and controlling the game. That was very smart from Alcaraz, this very high backhand with a lot of spin, because when you play boom, 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 like this, only flat and fast, I mean flat, there's spin, but I mean very fast, Medvedev loves it. He's a master in counterpunching, in using your pace against you, because you give him 100 kilometers per hour, he just gives you back 120. You give him 120, he brings you back 130. So, but if you don't give him pace, it's more difficult, and especially on the backhand side. Forehand side is fine because he has a big preparation, but on the backhand, when he doesn't have pace, it's not that easy for Daniel. And he does it again, very smart. What a defense. And another mistake with the forehand, and you see that first of all, it's another mistake hitting the ball behind him because he prepares a bit late today. And when you slow down to the forehand, which he did, Medvedev is amazing in that match. You know, being constantly aggressive, whatever happens. We just saw an interesting stat that is about the points over 9 shots. And so far, it's 5-1 by Medvedev, only 2 by Alcaraz. Oh, a big mistake again from Alcaraz. A lot of forehand mistakes today. And most of them, it's lack of adjustments to the ball. His movement is not as great, and his preparation is a bit later, so he's in trouble. No, it's out. And 5-2 for the Russian. That's a big surprise, really. I would say it's a half surprise because, I mean, nobody expects at this point Carlos Alcaraz to lose a single match maybe against Sinner, but that's it because he made the best start of the season possible. Hello, Linda. Welcome to the chat. Welcome to watching that match with us. But Medvedev is great when he plays the big guys. Again, I don't want to come back again to the match against Novak Djokovic in the final of the US Open, but he's able to really be super impressive when it counts the most. And he takes his chance much more, but it never does overplay. Never. Oh, thank you, Linda. You sent something again. You want to win predictor? It's my personal one. I give still 60-40 for Carlos. But I think the official win predictor would do the opposite, I think. Because I think there will be a reaction from Carlos. If not in that set, he will react. and there was a little bit of sign of maybe a little bit of overconfidence from Carlos saying, "Oh, on the day in between the matches, no practice. I go play golf. I don't need to." It sounded like I don't even need to take it seriously because I'm gonna win anyway. It didn't mean it that way, but it sounded a little bit like that. And so, Linda, you sent one bit. I don't know what it is. I'm new on Twitch, but I'm sure it's a good thing. Amazing drop shot from Carlos. Great serve and volley. And very, very good volley. Apocalypse chat. We'll talk about this on Monday if you don't mind, because we have a Monday we have a chat together with you guys at 3. No, 2. Let me check. I have a doubt. At 2 p.m. Pacific time on Monday, chatting takeaways on Indian Wells, and we can talk about anything, of course. Hi, Noe CR2. Welcome to the chat. Welcome to the community. Yes, so let's do this on Monday. Everything you want to know or talk about, we'll do. Oh my God. What the hell was that shot? That's unreal. This is pure, unbelievable talent. Because look at the quality. Again, Daniil is inside the court. That's a crazy shot. You see, another mistake because of the late preparation on the forehand of Carlos. That's why he mishits the ball. What a return on second serve. That's amazing amazing tennis from Carlos. Maybe this crazy shot kind of wake him up. Lucas Star 24, do you agree with what Zverev said about Alcaraz and Sinner win because of their shots and not because of their tactics? I don't know why he would say something like that, and I don't believe at all. I think they have both. So well played by Daniil. Took the ball very early and he played behind Carlos. So good tactically. Lucas Star, by the way, welcome to the chat. I don't think there is right if he said that. I didn't hear that, but and an ace and 2 set points for Daniil. That's, I mean, plays perfect tennis. Deserves 100% to win that first set. And he's dominating. Oh, what a serve again. Yeah. Daniil, who won 82% of the point on his second serve. And Carlos only 43. So that's completely deserved. I take a short pause and I come back for the second set. We're back to the match between Alcaraz and Medvedev for the second set. So far, the Russian is really dominating, and that's kind of surprising because anyone who would not be named Sinner that dominates a set against Alcaraz is always a surprise. But if you look at the statistics, the big difference is the percentage of points won on second serve. That is really way higher for Medvedev for the return again. Two unbelievable returns almost on the line in a row. Deep center for Medvedev. Yeah, 82% of points won on second serve, 9 out of 11, and only 43 for Alcaraz. And that just shows that when both players are behind the baseline without an advantage for one of the two, then for the moment in that match, it's Medvedev who's the better player from the baseline. Yeah, not happy to have completely lost control that forehand, Daniil. That was well done for Carlos. He's trying to take the ball earlier because so far he can't really find, holes in the defense of Medvedev, and Medvedev is controlling a lot the rallies. That's a big unforced error. We're at deuce. There's a lot of tension for Alcaraz. Oh, great job. Great job. This time he could be inside the court to return. That makes a big difference. And we have some statistics to show you, to share with you. And there is one that is on TV at the moment that shows that Alcaraz is way less efficient in attack than the rest of the year, and Daniil is way more efficient in attack in this match than most of the year. Yeah, basically. Not very surprising. So here it is. The first thing is the depth. I told you depth would be the key. When he plays very deep, Medvedev wins 100% of the points. When he doesn't play that deep, he wins only 1 point out of 2. So he's been able to find this depth throughout the match so far, and that's why the score is what it is. Then we have a second one, a second statistics. So the three keys of the match so far from Medvedev. 39% of his backhands is hitting being inside the baseline. They're talking to Carlos a lot, trying to motivate him because he's a bit lost at the moment, which is so rare. Only 5 backhands were more than 2 meters far from the baseline. Alcaraz 11, and as he does whenever he plays against Carlos, is playing way flatter than usual. And another unforced error forehand, makes so many today. But I told you from the start of the match, I feel that he's preparing a bit late, and that affects a lot his consistency with the forehand. Carlos is complaining, and I don't speak Spanish, but I understood at least that his coach told him to stay positive. Oh, what a return. Wow. Slutty TP, welcome to our community. Happy to have you with us. Wow, another unbelievable return from Medvedev. I told you, depth, crazy. From the return, he finds his zone so deep that the point is already won. Yeah, Carlos is frustrated, and that affects also his ability to find solutions to win at the moment. When you're in that mindset, frustration rather than, okay, I have to find a solution and look for it, it's never a good sign. And definitely not the right way to find the solutions. Oh, yeah. That's the start of a very good solution. You know, this slice short brought Medvedev inside the court, and then Medvedev did not follow at the net. And because he did not, that was so easy in the leg shot. And an ace. Looks like the pep talk of his coach did help and produce some results. So he keeps talking. I think it's the first ace of the match for Carlos. Well done. It's absolutely the first ace of the match for Carlos, which is not great stats because I think his average number of aces per set is around probably 5 or 6. So to be at a 1 on more than a set is way under the usual figures. But on the other hand, you know how it is in tennis. You know, the level of one affects the level of the other one. Sometimes it lifts the other one up. Sometimes it pushes the other one down because you make the other one feel that there is no solution to win and the other one's dropping. And you often hear players say, oh, wow, the guy is playing so crazy today. What happens? In a way, when they say this, they are also saying, I mean, what can I do? So I have another stat that is interesting, is the rally length. With the percentage of points won by both players between 0 and 4 shots, so it's 58% for Daniel. Between 5 and 8 is only 33, but then when you go over 9, it's 78%. And as you know, between 0-4 shots, Carlos is unbelievable, but not today. Because first, the quality of the serve of the Russian. Second, the fact that he's dominating the rallies. And third, the fact that he's returning also Carlos very well today. At least for the moment. 6-3. But 1-2 in the second set, no break. Daniel serving. Yeah, and then you'll see that over the shoulder, and especially when moving over the shoulder, Daniil is not as good as when the ball is at hip level. This he loves. And Carlos has played a lot at hip level so far. Oh, lucky because he hit the wrong side. On YouTube, Hone Badger 1724 is asking if I think it's the return of prime Daniil. Yes, I think so. I think so. Since the start of this season, he's the one that won the most matches. And if you look at the matches, the quality he's producing now is really, really high. That's a big mistake again for Carlos. Let me see. Daniil. So since January, 17 wins, only 3 losses. One against Tien, one against Hugo Humbert in Rotterdam. And one against Tsitsipas in Doha. But then he won. So he won Brisbane, he won Dubai, and he's in the semi-final of Indian Wells. And while I was saying this, and that's always a great tactic when you're as good as at passing shots and lobs as Alcaraz, and you have the touch to bring Daniil to the net with drop shots and then pass him or lob him. That's always a good tactics. And you see that he's trying to play. He's changing completely his tactics, Carlos. Playing low with slice, playing higher. Rushed on the last one. He almost had the point at a certain moment. And what a way to save his breakpoint, huh? Yeah, so Carlos changed the tactics, and I think it's smart. He stopped playing everything at the same pace. Now he's mixing a lot with slice, mixing with very high, way higher balls, like this one. And he breaks immediately. Way more spin, playing higher and lower with the slice, and that's way smarter, and also bringing sometimes Daniil to the net. That's how he got the break, but Daniil is not going to give him like this. Don't worry. And he broke Daniil in that second set. Daniil has 90% of first serves in. 90. And still broke him. Very well done. I'm always impressed because those super high balls, Carlos never lets them bounce. He hits them in the air. And it's so difficult, and it would be so easier to hit an overhead if you would let the ball bounce. That always impressed me. Yeah. And so far, it's really Carlos who's struggling when Medvedev plays very fast and flat on Carlos's forehand. He's missing a lot. And I would think the opposite will happen, that Carlos would accelerate on Medvedev's forehand and that Medvedev would miss more. Second serve. Let's see if, again, Medvedev is able to play. Oh, it's a double fault. 15-30. Again, Carlos in danger on his service game. He almost had no easy service game the whole match. And the lob. Wow. That's unusual because this thing, you know, a drop shot then lob. Carlos usually always wins the point, but yes, Medvedev, you're right, Stefaru. Medvedev is fighting like an animal. He knows that he has a chance in that set, even though it's a breakdown, that if he breaks back, that Carlos can start to really accumulate the mistakes. He has to show him that he's still there. What a return. What a return. And a break again. Break back from Medvedev. Wow. That's a statement. Okay, you break me. I'm here. I'm back. I'm going to break you back straight away. I think one thing also that Carlos doesn't expect, when he plays his lob after the drop shot, he doesn't expect Medvedev to hit it back. So he's surprised. So he's not ready because, you know, he could have finished the point after that. But he's surprised. And I feel he's continuously surprised in that match with Medvedev's resistance. And I mean, it's a bit sad for him because with the break and the way he broke, mixing the game, playing super smart, we think, okay, now he got it. He got how to win the points against Daniel, and he's going to keep doing it, and it's going to be fine. But when it's not when he's in offense, but I think Medvedev really returned really well. We have to give Medvedev a lot of credit, even though today Carlos is making way more unforced errors than usual. I think Daniel is playing a perfect match so far, really perfect. Serve, return. I mean, 91% of first serves in that second set. What the hell is that? I'm interested again. Carlos is complaining to his box like super negatively. And the always smiling guy is not smiling at all today. Hi, Slutty Tai Pai. Thank you for joining us and welcome to the chat. It's your first time on the chat. Thank you for loving my YouTube channel. Why do I think Medvedev is so difficult? But I think because he's an amazing player. And I'm going to tell you why. Look at that. Look at that. What is this point? And you know those points that 90% of the time Carlos ends up winning, today he's losing them. That's crazy. Why is so difficult? But look, he doesn't miss. He plays deep. He moves incredibly well. When you move him to the side, he's hitting the ball back, and if he has a good angle, sometimes he even hits you back. He serves amazing, and whenever you slow down, he attacks you, and he does it really well. Yes, his technique is unusual, I agree. What a return. But look how fast the guy is. Look at that! Look at that! Like the first angle is crazy, like boom, finished. But you see, it doesn't take him seriously. You should hit this backhand with a better angle and the point is over, but it's a bit in the middle. Yeah, I agree, Stefaru. It's really a fun match. And slice serve, sorry. I mean, welcome to the chat. Happy you're here. Any question that is not related to the match, we'll discuss Monday at 3 p.m., if you don't mind, which is a time ready to chat only. 3 p.m. European time. Yeah, two great returns from Alcaraz. And Medvedev won 12 out of his 15 second serves in that match. Only 50% for Alcaraz. Thank you, Slicer. Oh yeah, look at that. Play short. Boom. This is why Slutty Taipai Medvedev is so good. Still, Carlos speaking so much to his team, and his team speaking so much to him as well. But again, look at the depth in the shots of Medvedev and Carlos, who started a new tactics that was paying off. Again, now he plays everything fast. Oula. Again, a forehand that he hit a bit with a contact point a bit behind him. That's why he could only slow down. But I tell you, a higher and slower shot is most of the time more efficient against Daniil than a fast one. Thankfully for Carlos, Daniil gives a little bit of points. Makes a little bit more enforced errors here. Great drop volley. Carlos is so good at the net. But where he's not good at? Good question. He's good at everything. That's why he's the number one in the world. Oh, another enforced error. 3 in that game. And we have a statistics. Which is about the unreturned serve of Alcaraz, which rate is way higher than usual after 7 service games. Waiting for the stat to be on the screen, and then I'll describe it to you. Here we go. Not yet. No. Yeah. Okay, so the last 52 weeks, Alcaraz was not returning first serves only 37% of the time. No. That's not it. No. I misunderstood. This is the rate of the percentage of serves from Alcaraz that are unreturned. So usually 37%, today only 26%. Yeah, I'm not surprised because that's what we see. The ball is coming back most of the time and quite well, by the way. That's why it's so difficult also for Carlos to win his service games. I have some questions from YouTube that I want to answer too. Why does Daniel play so badly last year? What exactly was the problem? Listen, I don't know what was the problem, but he definitely was struggling. So he decided to change his coach that he was with for so long and had so much success with. And sometimes you make a change, you have a new voice and things work better. And I think that's what happened. But I don't know why he was struggling last year. And another from YouTube, the Q. Is Medi playing unbelievably well, or is Carlos just having a bad day? I think it's both. I think Carlos started a bit sloppy, not really making the necessary effort for the placement, so he was doing more unforced errors. And I think that Medvedev is playing so far an incredible match. And from dominating Carlos from the baseline, spending way more time than Carlos inside the court, which is very unusual. And he's just a better player from the baseline so far. And so Carlos will have to find solutions. He changed some tactical things. Oh. But then came back to what he was doing before. Oh, another forehand mistake. A lot of mistakes on the forehand side today for Carlos. Joe Hustle 0. Do you think Sinner is a bigger talent than Alcaraz? No, I don't think so. I don't think so much it's about talent. It's more about optimizing your qualities and working towards that goal. That's too good. Look at this, and you know that there is not one guy that has more talent than Carlos on tour. But again, it's not talent that gave him the best technique. It's his work. It's not talent that gave him those legs. It's also a lot of work, etc., etc. And by the way, while I'm saying this, remember the first statistic I showed you is the percentage of unreturned serve. Yeah, here it is. So before, the number of the percentage of serves from Alcaraz that were not returned was only 26%, which is way less than the rest of the year. And it dropped again. Now we're at 21. After 8 service games, 21% of Carlos' first serve were unreturned. And usually it's 37. The quality of the serve of Medvedev, quality of his return, and aggressiveness in the game, being inside the court. And of course his court coverage, which we know is unbelievable. So today, it's tough to beat today. But Carlos is still fighting, so there is still hope. Just went back to deuce. And another break point for Carlos Alcaraz. Carlos was pushing to be more and more aggressive, and he starts from the return, and then is I think moving more inside the court than in the first set. Maybe we'll have a stat at the end of this second set if Carlos wins it to see the difference. Always interesting to see the adjustments made by the players for winning a set compared to losing it before. Too good. This backhand inside out is unbelievable from Medvedev. It's a shot that he really loves. A slice serve, if you don't mind. We'll talk about Zverev on Monday. Oh, wow. Reminds me so far really of the final of Medvedev at the US Open against Novak. You know, he's so solid, very aggressive, and every time he's in danger on his serve, he hits a huge first serve and gets out of trouble. And once again, back to 4-all after saving a break point. That's a big step for Carlos, who, and as we're moving closer to the end of the set, Carlos doesn't have the right to have a little low and lose his serve. And for sure, Medvedev is going to try to push even more now. Yeah. Forehand against forehand. It's always beneficial. It should always be beneficial to Carlos. Oh, that's a big mistake. Again, it's a problem of adjustments. He's way too close to the ball on this one. (21) on first error so far. Oh la la. I don't know why Daniel returned with a slice forehand. It was a slice serve, so not that fast. Oh, what a volley. Unbelievable volley from Carlos. And I don't understand why Medvedev is starting to return more sliced forehand. We've seen that a lot, huh, in that match. Good serve. First serve. And a return from Medvedev deep. This one was not that deep, but deep center, fast, flat. Taking a lot of time away from Alcaraz, who doesn't have time to really prepare and mishits the ball. Oh la la, that's strange. Wow. So good, so good from Daniel. You see, whenever Carlos is slowing down, Daniel is hurting him and hurting him and hurting him non-stop. Boom, 1. Boom, 2. And he almost lost the point on that last volley because he didn't plan to go, and at some point he thought, yeah, but this guy is everywhere in defense, I have to go, and he went a bit late. It's crazy to see that Carlos looks like he struggled to recover from the last rally. He knew he would get a warning, so he decided to take all the time he needs, as if he was really tired from the last rally, and it's extremely surprising. 4-all juice. The next 2 points are going to be very important. And he knows, that's why he hit that great serve. I don't think Carlos is cramping. I think he's struggling to recover after a very, very long and difficult rally that he lost. If he would have won it, would have been different, but it's not the same when you lose it. And game. He saved his service game. Oof. Was not that easy, but he made it. We have another stat that is interesting. We said that there was way more variation and a new kind of a new tactical plan for Alcaraz in the second set. Look at that. So the variation shots is the drop shots, slices, high balls, and angles. He did this only 28% of the time in the first set and 44% in the second. So there is a clear different strategy, which looks like it's working more, even though he was in danger and is still in danger, but at least he doesn't play the favorite game of his opponent. So it's more efficient. So double, I go crazy. All the questions that are not related directly to the match, so we're gonna answer them on Monday at 2 p.m. European time, if you don't mind. Today it's only about the match, and I have a question from YouTube from Ezud Dimitri Loic. Medvedev is a tactical masterclass. He's making Carlos crack. It's incredible. I think you're right. He's great at tactics, but I don't think it's really a tactical match. I'd rather, I think more than he's able to serve incredibly well, return incredibly well, and in the rally is way more inside the court than Alcaraz. Is more offensive, and he plays deep, which prevents Alcaraz from being the one dictating. You see the depth again? And it's strange because Carlos, that used to vary way more in the second set and actually broke that way, and he started to try to play even faster now, as you can see. You see another big mistake on a slice. It was a slice forehand from Alcaraz, but it's a slice. So mixing the game, bringing Medvedev to the net, that's the right way to play. As things more classical, I mean, Alcaraz's own game is not successful today, so he has to bring some other things. And in a way, he knows how to do anything. He can do anything on a court, so he has so many options. Question from Tom WX5. First of all, welcome to the chat and welcome to the community. Oh my God, and set point for Alcaraz now. Medvedev was 30 love and made 2 unforced errors, and now here we are. Things can change like this in tennis, and even more when Carlos Alcaraz is on the court. Tom WX5, it's not about the match, and I said I'm going to answer those questions on Monday, 2 p.m. European time. You see how much Alcaraz is in defense today? That's the thing. So it's not that Daniil plays tactics, it's that Daniil has an incredible will to always dominate. So he has so much intention of play every time he hits a shot, way more than usual. A lot of times, usually, he would play backhand to backhand can play for 5 hours like this without missing. Today, he wants to make the points. He wants to win. He wants to control the rallies. Too good from Carlos. But you see that this guy is human. When things are difficult and that don't go his way, there is no more smile. Of course, when you win all the time, it's easier to smile. But I agree that the fact that he enjoys playing tennis, and it's obvious because who wouldn't enjoy with a game like this? You can do whatever you want anytime. Now the great serve to save the second set point from Medvedev. Another use serve. Whatever happens in that match, I don't think there will be many occasions for Carlos in that match. He will have, but not so many. So when he has them, he has to take them. Unbelievable. This says a lot. Like, to miss this shot for Alcaraz shows that he's not there the way he is usually there. Double ego crazy. Me too. I want Tien to win. I love this kid. I love this game. Look how late comes Medvedev, and he can only put the ball back. And Carlos is late. And he should have lobbed. You see how close to the net Medvedev is? That's a good serve. That was close. Anyway, it's also cool to see a match that is not only about serve and return. There are so many more rallies. Both of the guys are hitting a lot of shots. That's well done, and you see that when the ball is well placed, it's enough to win the point. You don't have to play crazy fast and crazy close to the lines. What a return. That's amazing. I don't think Medvedev should play that game with Carlos with the drop shot, counter drop shot. No, 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 no. He's gonna always be better than you. Don't do that. I'm cold. Believe it or not, but oh, it's 1 a.m. I feel better. I'm looking at the stats of the. There is one stat that I don't like, is the percentage of points, break points saved by Alcaraz, because we're at 0%, 0 out of 2. And this is also unusual. Medvedev is at 4 out of 5, so 80%. That's a very interesting game now, because for one of the first times, Carlos won his service game comfortably. Actually, without dropping a point. I think he's playing better and better, and Medvedev has to, if he wants to win, I think he'd better hold his serve. Poh! Look at that. You see what happens when you slow down against Medvedev? You get a bomb down the line with his forehand. Again, Carlos back to the tactic that works. A lot of slice. It just has to be careful when it slows down to avoid Medvedev's forehand, because he has more natural acceleration with the forehand than with the backhand. The backhand is more solid for sure, but he's counter-punching better with the backhand, but is better in aggression with his forehand. That's a great second serve. He knows that Carlos is going to step inside the court on second serve and try to be aggressive. That's why he's pushing. But so far, he did hit 0 double faults. Perfect. Perfectly done. And again, saved by his serve. Great first serve, always when it counts the most. It's crazy because in this match so far, Medvedev wins 80% of the points on his second serve. That's why I think, especially at this moment of the match, if I was Carlos, I would move back on second serves of Daniel to make sure to put the ball in play with a lot of topspin and then start the rally from there. Here we are, tiebreak. Yeah. The most dangerous position of Carlos. Moving around his backhand, and the further he is, the better angle he will find. And already the mini break. No, sorry. He was on Carlos' serve, so no mini break at all. That's so well done. But also, you know, when you decide to go inside in, you have to find depth. If you play a little bit short, look at that, you're out of the court. This one is very good. And here, it was deep. But it was without angle, so... Amazing again. Medvedev super aggressive. But if you compare with Zverev in the match before, Zverev was trying to play really out of his mind. Medvedev, you feel he has full control of his accelerations. So it's a huge difference. 2-1, Medvedev, Carlos to serve. Second. Ooh la la. And from that position, difficult to find the angle with the forehand because the ball is quite central. Forehand unforced errors, 23 in the match. Forehand, that's what, I said many times, so many forehands mistakes. Oh la 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 la. This slice backhand dropped shot, I don't know exactly what it is, from Alcaraz. Felt like I don't know what to do. I can't find a solution in that rally. I'm gonna try something. Now it's a big danger because Medvedev is able to hit two aces. I'm not saying he's gonna do it, but he can't, and this doesn't really. The future of Alcaraz doesn't really depend on him now in that tiebreak. Thankfully for him. Medvedev misses the first shot, the first serve, sorry. Oh la la, and a big mistake. 5-1. Ooh la 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 la. Pokelipchet is saying that for sure Daniel will give the match to Sinner in the final. We're not in the final yet, but I don't think he will. But if Sinner wins, and in a way it's cool because it recalibrates the powers between Alcaraz and Sinner, because Carlos is so confident at the moment with all he won, Sinner less, so that would rebalance a little bit. 5-1, Medvedev to serve. Now any point lost by Alcaraz will give a match point to Medvedev. Red Murphy, thank you for following and welcome. Amazing serve. And 5 match points for Medvedev. Alcaraz completely missed his tiebreak. And I have a stat, but it's a match point, so we'll see right after the match. We'll dive into it to explain why this match went that way. And 2 good serves to come back to 6-3. And that's what I said earlier. His future doesn't really belong to him because Medvedev can hit an ace and that's it. I'm not saying he will, but he can. And I think he will, by the way. Here we go. Here we go. Very well deserved. We can see the stats because I think the stat says everything. Is very clear. I mean, it's great to see Daniel back to that level. Honestly, he played an incredible match, and when you'll see the stats, you'll understand also that Carlos was not given the chance either to be as aggressive as he wanted to, thanks to the incredible quality of the match that Daniel played on serve, on return, and also from the baseline. He was the best player today, and he found a way to be way more offensive than usual, and Carlos couldn't be as much as he wanted to, because Medvedev was inside the court dictating too often in that match. It's of course a disappointment, but you know he has to lose a few matches during the year. I think it's also losing up some tension and some pressure, because then every match he's going to think about it. Here's the stat I was talking to you about. It's coming straight away. Here it is. So usually, since the start of Indian Wells, Carlos is in offense 28% of the time. Today he could only 23%. And Daniil In his first 4 matches, 26%, but today 30%. So that says it all. Guys, it was a real pleasure. Thank you very much for following. Thank you for the subscribers who did subscribe. And I wish you a great day or a great night, depending on your time zone. And I'll see you tomorrow for the final. And then we have a great final. It's going to be Daniel Medvedev, which is the surprising finalist. We thought, the logic would have been Alcaraz against Yannick Sinner, who beat Zverev in straight sets. Bye-bye. My bed is waiting for me.